what the hell was that?
It's getting stronger every time.
Is it a blue moon?
Look to the south.
You might have noticed other tabaxis don't look exactly like me.
Someone's gonna die tonight.
I might have met someone.
It was only one night, right?
Are you sending a letter?
I appreciate having friends.
What happened? You guys knew her for like 5 hours. What?
Why are you so sweaty, Kraloth?
And you see Kraloth is like pacing back and forth in front of Jack.
I'm wondering what you can tell me about love.
Welcome back to Dice Shame. This is episode 107, Heart to Heart.
MVP this week is Nicole Lamana from Twitter, who is excited to share their thoughts on the wild animal intro. Can't imagine growing up with bears, cougars, and coyotes in your backyard. Thank you so much for listening.
Halloween is just around the corner. Seance is an immersive audio experience for one, something you can do anywhere you have a chair and some headphones. Created by Mark Harris and our own Harlan Guthrie, it's been described as genuinely scary and fun, a perfect spooky season activity. Find Seance today on the Malevolent Podcast feed or by visiting malevolent.ca and find out what awaits you on the other side. And as a quick side note, thank you to everyone who voted for Malevolent in the Discover Pods Awards. Harlan took home second place in the audio drama category, an incredible achievement and something we are really proud of.
Doggars. All right, shall we do this?
Yeah, let's play some D&D. So Harlan does almost all of the cooking at our house. I'm a lucky woman.
You're a looky woman.
You're a looker.
Lucky.
I'm a lucky
You're
woman.
a lucky woman.
And he can recreate stuff that we would get at restaurants. Like almost.
You mean like heat up leftovers? I do that too.
I don't know why that one got
No, I mean,
I can take it out of the box.
And recreate it
imagine.
on the plate.
I get home from work and you're like, Joe, I made this food.
That's what's been
and
happening.
It's just like you ordered it and reheated it in the oven.
Plating something is a skill, though. Making it look pretty is a different skill from cooking a food.
It's true, which I can't do, but I can cook the food.
I
You-
I can't do the plating thing.
well, there you
Your
are.
plating is excellent as well. But one thing that I find that you really can't make at home as well as you could do in a restaurant, not you, just you in general.
No, just
sushi.
Harlan.
Have you guys ever tried to do a sushi home dinner?
yeah.
I haven't, but I have friends that do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I mean,
sushi or sashimi?
Sushi, but sashimi too.
Sushi.
You can do it.
I
mean,
don't know.
I
don't
mean, I
actually
can
know. You
roll
just
it up
cut
and
fish,
stuff, but
right?
it's just
And put it on some rice.
yeah, but even that, can you really do? Let's be honest here. We have a lovely sunfish on top of a.
Store-bought tilapia on top of this poorly cooked basmati
I
rice.
defrosted the bassa.
Chicken fingers.
I think it's one of those two. It's like pinching dumplings or something. Unless you do 1,000 of them, are you really any good at it? I've done
Yeah, you get
two
really good,
sushi
too.
rolls in my life, and they were strongly mediocre. And so,
Yeah,
Strongly
mediocre.
mediocre.
Well, to
Strongly.
me, there's something to be said about a restaurant that maybe doesn't specialize in it, but definitely makes enough of it to have certain ingredients on hand and to have the right tools to make it. Like, for instance, at-home pizza is fine.
it's delicious.
But it doesn't taste anywhere near
It's not like Domino's.
ordering a pizza.
No.
And the same goes with sushi. At-home sushi's fine. At-home fish and chips are fine. You can do all that. But you're never really going to be able to emulate a store or a place that only makes that thing and does it extremely well.
Furthermore, I would argue that restaurants who have menus that are like
Too full.
way too varied
Yeah.
and too many items, I always kind of look at them with a little bit of side eye.
If I were to get Harlan to recreate one kind of food from a restaurant, it would be the Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich. That shit
Ooh.
is crack and delicious.
He knows the chicken sandwich too.
Oh, man,
Yeah?
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really good sandwich I enjoy from Kelsey's that I can recreate to a T. The issue is it just takes so much work, and that's part of the reason.
Crispy
you know what I
chicken?
mean?
It's like deep
to
fried?
make a crispy chicken sandwich, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, chicken, easy, but dredge it, deep fry it so it's crispy, make the sauce, make the ranch dressing, cut up the tomatoes, cut up the the lettuce and whatever other toppings you're having.
For what? Two
Well,
sandwiches?
that's what I mean. Like it's genuinely
Forget
just not
about
worth
it.
it. Yeah, it's too much work, which is why these things are so successful.
Mm-hmm.
Damn restaurants. Although Swiss LA's closing.
What?
Really? For sure?
Yeah.
In general?
That's not
The
legal.
conservatives couldn't turn it back around with their free Swiss chalet thing. Did you hear about that?
No, what?
When Aaron O'Toole was like, and for a limited time, if conservatives are in power, you can go to Swiss Chalet and get 25%
Are
off.
you
What
fucking
the
kidding
bullshit
me?
is this,
He's
like-
trying to offer coupons for Swiss Chalet.
It's really funny.
The conservatives have nothing but buck beer and chicken. And it's like, hey, we're just getting drunk and eat some chicken, and we're going to try and just let us run a government. Leave us alone.
Well, it's interesting because I saw that advertisement before the election, obviously, and I was like, well, that's stupid, but whatever. And then today, I just read that they're closing like 5 Swiss Chalet locations, and I was like, Swiss Chalet really went all in on
They
the
were just
O'Toole platform of
holding
please
out.
get people to come into our restaurant.
I've only been to a Swiss Chalet once, actually. It's just wasn't a thing out west, and I don't know. I've just never been there.
I've been a few times. It's fine.
They're
It's-
okay. They are
Yeah, it's definitely.
Solidly in the medium quality.
Yeah.
It's as Rob would say,
Strongly mediocre.
yeah,
That's
strongly mediocre.
Yeah.
Nothing like some good takeout though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be ordering tonight, actually. Usually this is what happens on Friday night.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
pizza.
I get
That's
a
what we do.
pizza. I might order some Popeyes. We'll see.
And then for some reason we end up seeing your feet.
And we see
You
your feet a
eat
lot.
pizza and then you get your feet out. That's the Justin
Oh, no.
guarantee.
Uh-oh.
This is the
Feet
Oh,
up
that's what
or
it
feet
is.
out?
This is
He
this
gets
is-
sleepy.
I get
and he
I came
reclines.
back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need one of
This is-
those.
Got a more laid back Kraloth somehow. I don't know what.
You know what we need to do? We need to
Kraloff needs to relax.
once the Patreon. We'll just spend our Patreon money on a mansion, and then
Okay.
in
Oh,
there,
yeah.
Yes.
we'll all live
Uh-huh.
there. It'll be like Big Brother, and we'll have
Mhm.
a room where we record Dice Shame, where we all have couches,
Lounge chairs.
or lounge
Yep.
chairs, where we could put our feet up,
Yep.
and just like a mic that comes to our face and a beer, and we all
I like
face.
That's good for audio is lying
Mhm.
down.
Yeah,
It
always
really
sounds
keeps the
good.
energy up.
Well, Kurt Cobain did it.
It's true.
Kurt Cobain did it?
recorded his entire album on his back.
He did.
All right.
How's he doing
Yeah.
now?
Well,
I feel like
then-
we already had this conversation.
Oh, he's doing great.
No.
yeah,
He hasn't gotten
fantastic.
up since, but
Maybe I just
Yeah.
heard this
He's
recently.
lying down to this day.
Yeah,
some
he
would
is.
say.
He is.
Do you hear about the Nirvana kid who's like suing them because his penis was on the album of that Nevermind
We
album?
have had this conversation.
Oh, no.
On Dice Shame?
No, you're having deja vu, my friend.
Maybe it was Invictus.
I don't know.
I feel like we have.
He's suing. He's suing Nirvana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the baby who was naked on that cover,
That baby has a lawsuit.
who's grown up and now been like, I was exploited.
Now he's a big baby.
Well, it's funny because at first I was like, oh, come on. And then I was like, I thought about it. And I was like, well, I
Yeah.
mean, I like kind of, right? I mean, someone took a picture of this kid.
Was he given royalties?
They used it. No, he
Yeah.
gets nothing. He's never gotten anything, right? They're just
Right, of course.
this like cultural icon of this baby photo. Now, I don't know. Like, really, is he entitled to it? I genuinely don't know. But from dismissing it outright and then thinking about it, I kind of was like, oh, well, you know what? Yeah, that is kind of fucked up.
So you
like,
came back around on the baby
Came back
penis
around.
issue.
I think he should have been getting some residuals or something when he turned.
Personally,
18.
it's
I don't
like,
know.
well, what took you so long, huh?
yeah, big baby,
Come on.
I-
that album was
Idiot.
released in like 92.
1991.
Statute of limitations.
God.
He kind of had to
Like,
grow,
come on.
grow up.
You couldn't have brought
go
this up
through
in 90
puberty,
4
go to school.
30 years ago. Oh my God, 30 years ago.
when you were still a child.
Was that 30 years ago?
You're old, and you're old, and you're
91
old.
to 2001 to 20.
Is he my age? Was I the kid?
It was you, Justin.
I don't think it was me.
Inception.
It was always
There's
you.
something about that picture
Jesus Christ.
that I just get a feeling it wasn't me.
Anyway, is this the intro?
Yeah, should we play some D&D?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I guess.
Whoa, that's right. We're playing D&D.
Let's do
Yes.
Oh wait, yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yes,
Henry,
that's
when he
right.
Yeah.
grows up, will sue us for being in an episode and not getting any royalties. So
Earlier this evening, you arrived at the sacred hills of the Griffin tribe's spirit mound, shining white, to uncover a giant relic for the oracle. You found the site to be desecrated and dug below the shattered altar to find 2 halves of a cloud giant's porcelain mask. As a mist shimmered out of the ground, you heard regretful whispers from ghostly figures, and then came face to face with the Hunt Lords, who had once again caught your scent and found you here. After a hard-fought battle culminating in the reanimation of a barbarian's corpse and its skeletal griffin mount, we find our heroes in the dark on the frozen hills of this holy graveyard.
what the hell was that? That was not what we fought before. It looked like It looked like a barbarian.
It's getting stronger every time.
That's right.
What do you mean every time?
Every time we kill the Hunt Lords, they find a new body and they take some of the power with them and get whatever powers their new body has. Who knows who was buried here?
But never that quickly. It always had green eyes. That one had violet eyes. I felt like something different. We need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we really do need to get out of here. We've got the mask.
We got to get moving.
Hold on. Do you see anything, Brett?
I don't see anything. Not in this storm. Let's just get the hell out of here. Something feels off about that whole thing.
Oh, of course.
I think Jack raises his hand and puts up the like illusion signal to try and call down the airship to come and pick us up again. Wand drawn kind of back to everybody so we're all facing a direction to...
Yeah, I think Red is like frantically turning around, real shook.
After a few moments, the airship hovers into view, lanterns hung from the deck, making small points of light and marking its passage. The ladder unrolls with a clatter to permit your ascent.
Oh, what a clattering ladder.
Jack's happy to start climbing as soon as he can.
Yeah, I think Red does the same.
I think Doran takes up the rear. I think Doran is the last one up the ladder.
Phrasing.
You taking up the rear, Doran?
Doran, take it up the rear. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'll bring him.
You're coming right behind me, right?
I'm coming in the rear.
Okay.
Doran, loosen up. Kraloth's coming in your rear. Let's go.
Before Kraloth jumps on the ladder, he turns back, and I think he catches eyes with Captain Tranieros, who's standing ominously behind, his presence urging him forward. And he turns back and stoically climbs the ladder. Stay close on my rear, Doran.
Get right up there, Doran.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm following everybody quite closely. I don't want to be left here. And Doran begins to climb the ladder.
I hope you can get up.
It's
It's been a long day. Don't be self-conscious if you can't get it up. Get up. Yeah.
don't worry. I'm getting up. I'm stiff and cold.
Yeah, I can tell you're climbing real stiff.
Use your hands if you need to.
Stupid.
It's a good thing he wields Orc Splitter, right?
Yeah. You can do anything.
Kraloth gets to the top, just lights a cigarette.
Oh,
Why are you so sweaty, Kraloth?
I have no comeback.
So,
Such heights. Ecstatic.
That's good.
so as you're all aboard, airship takes off and turns north again because your next stop will be the Great Worm Cavern.
What's the name of the airship?
Sylvester.
What did you call it?
I was going to say
I
Jessica.
would...
Jessica.
Sylvester Jessica. The beautiful airship.
no. It's got to have a noble name. Like,
Queen Sylvester Jessica.
yeah. I think Doran takes this opportunity, and as he gets to the top of the ladder, he sees that there's another ladder going up the side of the balloon to a crow's nest that sits atop of the balloon. And he's going to climb up and take that spot for the next little while.
Sure. I mean, it's dark out, but you can absolutely do some stargazing from up there if you like.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
I feel like Red watches Doran climb up and then looks towards Jack and Kraloth, and he's like, I'll go make sure he doesn't fall. And Red follows him. It's like an infant. Just hold the railing, bud. Hold the railing. It's fine.
And Kraloth walks over to the edge of the ship and leans over and just looks out over the very dim horizon, leaning out, the wind whipping through his scalp.
So you don't have.
He turns back to Jack and says, just a beautiful night tonight, hey?
I mean, Jack can't feel the cold much anymore, and he's still shivering just thinking about the Hunt Lords following them and whether or not this airship moves fast enough to sort of shake him. And he stands behind Kraloth and says, I mean, it's one more evening we get to see anyways, so that's something.
Oh. And Kraloth kind of tilts his head and says, yeah, I guess it has been a busy week. Truth be told, this is all I've ever known in life. monsters rising up from graves, having to vanquish them, moving on, killing more monsters. I guess this is a lot newer for you than it is for me, eh?
I mean, parts of it are remarkably familiar. You know, how fun was it to get to spend a little bit of today in a dig site, finding artifacts from long lost civilizations, almost trying to put together the pieces, what it all means. Is it this mask is really important to the Griffin tribe, but also it was originally a giant artifact. Who's got the bigger claim to it? Yeah, let alone
It isn't doing much good under the ground.
Yeah, fair.
Doran and Red, you guys have climbed to the top of this balloon and are sitting in a crow's nest. It's remarkably stable up here for how precarious it would seem to be perched atop a balloon.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like when Doran leans over, Red just grabs his belt. Just like he's a toddler. Okay, not too far.
Oh, not to worry. And then that's when you notice that Doran tugs the rope that he's tied to his own belt. That's attached to an anchor point on the top of the crow's nest.
Clever. And Red does the same. He sort of grabs a rope and ties it to the back of his belt. He's like, that reminds me of the time I had a tail.
You used to have a tail?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, don't you find it affects your balance without having a tail?
It was removed when I was so young that I managed to... it was a tough time, Doran. It was taken when I was very young.
Who would take your tail?
Well, it's a long story.
Well, we don't have to talk about it. That's okay.
Cool. Look at the night air.
Yeah, look at it. In between the clouds, you can see the stars.
Say, speaking of things we don't need to talk about, are you going to tell them about,
Your tail?
No, Doran. The thing you told me.
Oh.
When Captain Chaos Hammer confronted you.
Doran's face kind of goes a little bit shocked. Maybe you don't see it because it's dark, but Doran kind of continues to stare up at the night sky. Chaos Hammer? Oh, what? Oh, not well. All in good time, my friend. But, I really did want to know about your tail. I was only trying to be kind. I mean, I'm sure we could have long conversations about our pasts here if we really wanted to.
Well, I mean, I wasn't supposed to be born to who I was born to.
Oh.
I wasn't proper, in a way. You might have noticed other tabaxis don't look exactly like me.
Yeah, I have noticed that actually a little bit, but
yeah,
just figured it was maybe the region of the place you were from.
No, it wasn't. I'm what you call a bit of a, runt would be a kind way to put it, but unwanted is what I was heard a lot of when I was younger.
Oh.
I grew up in a place that made me feel very wrong to be alive. And part of this, and he gestures to his ears and then vaguely to his tail, was a way of, I guess, them making me fit in.
I'm sorry to hear about that, and as you know, I mean, we all have things in our past that we're ashamed of, I think we should do our best to let others in on maybe our feelings and what we're thinking. It would certainly strengthen our relationship with, especially, Kraloth and Jack down there. Maybe even your daughter. Have you ever told your daughter about your...
No. I've never told anyone but you. And it's not something I'm keen to share. It's something that hurts to remember, if I'm being honest.
I won't say anything about it. It will stay with me. Quite frankly, I can't understand why it happened to you, because to me you seem like a perfectly excellent individual, I have to say.
Well, thank you, Doran. And to me, you've been nothing but a hero.
Well,
and
thank you.
There's something else that maybe I should mention.
Yeah, maybe me too. You first.
Hey, Red, Doran, there's some lights in the sky. Look to the south.
There's stars.
And
What the hell is that?
no, not stars. Jack says it's some sort of aurora, something.
It's lighting up the tiers of Saloon.
Hey, look at that, Doran.
Oh, yeah.
Back down in the belly of the airship, I feel like we see Kraloth and Jack huddled together over a table with a lantern swinging above them, giving a warm glow to the room. The other cultists are walking around, attending to the various chores aboard this airship. And you have a little bit of time alone without the more boisterous members of the party.
The two revealing their deepest, darkest truths.
The boisterously. As Kraloth and Jack get inside to get out of the cold, Kraloth moves to go to his bed or his hammock, and he stops and turns back to Jack and says, "Hey, Jack, I wonder if I could ask you a personal question."
Sure. What's on your mind?
Well, I mean, you're a knowledgeable man. You know a lot about the world and, in the books that you've read. And I'm wondering what you can tell me about love.
Wow. That's a subject I think very poorly covered academically. I mean, is there anything specific you have in mind, or what? Are you feeling some things you're...
Yeah, I'm just wondering what. Well, I mean, full disclosure, I might have met someone.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, some. You were back in town. We went on that trip to Cindergather's estate, and and Kraloth sits down heavily and bashfully puts a hand to his face and says, turns out Miss Cindergather is quite lovely and enchanting. It's like there was a spell put on me or something.
Well,
Could it have been a charm spell?
It was only one night, right?
Yeah.
You'd only known this woman a few hours, so I mean, you're talking about something almost fairy tale. Asking, what happened?
Oh, well, she came into the room and I felt my heart just do all sorts of gymnastics, and I couldn't really think properly, and my hands got all sweaty, and I just completely lost track of everything else in the room besides her, and I really want to speak with her again and just be around her and talk to her, just be close.
I mean, that certainly sounds like you met someone important, and I mean that's one of the hardest things I've discovered. I guess I've known it all along, but really recently has brought it into highlight that this amount of travel that we have to do is really hard. I mean, hard enough that I invented a whole spell to try and keep in touch with people and get to see their faces sometimes, because otherwise only getting to see Torin after so many life and death calls,
It was a feeling I'd never felt before, Jack. I mean, if what you feel for Torin is in some way similar to what I maybe foolishly feel for Marina, I completely understand why you'd put all the work in to develop a spell like that. And quite frankly, I'm glad that you have, because this is the reason why I was hoping that you could show me how to use it or help me send a message.
Hell yeah. Let's write a letter.
Well,
and Jack starts putting aside all of his stuff that was, for resummoning Kieran, and puts that all in one pile and starts to pull out parchment and magical inks and bespelled ground up pigments to go onto this parchment, and, sort of explains how to Kraloth his letter can reach anyone, and it can even have like an audio visual component in addition to whatever you write down. Like, you could share however much of yourself you'd like.
Well, hold on, Jack. There's something else, because I mean, what I feel for this woman is something, but I'm just not entirely convinced that it can be love. And I wouldn't want to send the wrong impression. So I'm hesitant about committing to this decision because I'm not fully sure that I'm capable.
You had a really great experience with a person who you've known for a handful of hours. And it sounds like you'd like to spend some more hours with this person eventually to figure out, to answer some of those questions you have. She sounds lovely. I'd love to meet her. You know, you don't need to look at this like sending her a letter says anything more than, hey, you're nice and we should be friends. Right? This doesn't, you're not committing to anything. You're just saying, a couple of days ago, that was a great reprieve from a life of horror and adventure on the road. And if we could find another space and time where we could occupy the same space and time, that would be nice.
Oh, that's good, Jack. Write that down. Write that down. I really like that. And Kraloth shakes his head, and whatever was bothering him seems to have been mollified for now, and says, okay, well, yeah, how do we get started? Should I just tell you what I want to say to her?
Yeah, tell me what you'd like to have happen, and you'll get to see it all before it gets sent, so we can make any changes you like.
All right. And Kraloth begins to orate. Lady Marina Cindergather, it has been not very long since our last correspondence, when I met you and slew those demons with my friends. You were an exceptional hostess, and your canapes were fantastic. I particularly like the shrimp ones in the batter, and I also really like those little egg things that were that were baked, you know, like an egg bite type thing. Those were delicious. I'll need to get that's it, a quiche. I would love to get the recipe for that sometime. Also, we were talking about your orchard in the summertime, and you were saying it's quite beautiful. I would love to come back and try those fruits. I haven't gone very far since we met. I'm on an airship right now with my friends Red and Doran. You met them, and my friend Jack as well. And we just slew some undead hunters. Excuse me. It's hunters. They're following
How long
us.
does this message get to be?
You got 5 characters left.
I think we've got a page of paper.
LUVUC.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that this won't be the last of the letters you receive from me. I hope to get some letters from you because I think you're pretty great. Take care, Marina, and let me know if any more of those demon things come for you. Lock your doors.
Do you want to include a recipe for her to try?
Oh, that's a good idea, Jack. Yeah. Here is P.S. Here is my trademark recipe. It's not really trademarked. For blueberry scones. You can use it as much as you like, and I hope you love them as much as I do. I'm eating one right now.
Red and Doran come downstairs.
Yeah.
The door flies open, and Red and Doran are walking in. Oh, no, tomorrow's a blue moon. It'll be a boon. Tonight's a red moon. You're near a lagoon. That's how it goes, Doran. The blue moon, it means it's a good thing. The red moon means nothing. You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
And you see Kraloth is like pacing back and forth in front of Jack, who's kind of half writing, half spell casting this recipe.
It's almost, it gets like a cooking show-esque air because there's a little illusion that gets to go at the end of it, and so you get to see Kraloth making these scones with love where his passion really comes across, and then it sort of hidden in this letter that gets folded up.
Yeah, and she gets the smell as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Krayla cooking for. Oh,
What are you cooking for? What are you? Are you sending a letter?
I thought I saw you cooking.
Oh,
Let me see. Let me see. Red walks over and like looks over
Let me
Jack's
eat it.
shoulder.
Let me smell.
it's
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's
I was
that one.
speaking from the heart.
That one's a bit.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. This.
Oh,
That
you-
word I
you don't
wouldn't
like
use.
it?
I wouldn't. You're smarter than this. Well, there's a
Am I,
lot of
though?
ums here.
Am I smarter than this?
Jack, maybe cut out some of the ums.
Jack tosses the letter into the air and it disappears in a poof of magic.
Oh God.
The letter's sent.
What?
Sorry, Kraloth.
Should I have edited it?
I would have.
Oh, well,
You didn't come across like that in front of her.
yeah,
You
maybe
were
you're
much more
right.
poignant.
Well,
Kraloth, this was very you.
yeah, maybe you're right, Red. Is there a way to undo it, Jack?
Oh no. You can't unsend the email, my friend.
Kraloth, you came across as an authentic, lovely version of yourself who wouldn't want to spend more time with you.
Hmm.
Who did you send your letter to?
He sent it to Marina Syndergaard.
Oh.
Oh,
Mariana.
well, we don't have to
What?
talk about this
Poor
anymore.
Mariana.
No, it's good. I think you should definitely reach out to her.
I'm really happy for you, Kraloth. I sincerely hope you the very best. And he walks up and shakes your hand a little too long.
I don't.
What?
I don't know.
What happened? You guys knew her for like 5 hours. What?
I don't
Oh,
know.
shit went down, Jack. Shit went down. Anyway, as long as you didn't mention scones, she hated blueberries, remember? I think it'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Doran's still shaking Kraloth's hand. Nothing went down.
It doesn't necessarily mean anything, Doran. It just so happens that I really enjoyed spending time with her, and
Oh, of course.
maybe this will mean that we're friends.
Oh, of course.
I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I thought that maybe sending
course.
her a nice letter about how we slew those mean demons
Of course.
would be well received.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you all right, Doran?
Of course.
Hey, Doran's fine. Don't worry about it. Doran, you're fine, right?
Of course.
See? He's fine.
Of
He's good.
course.
Hey, settle a debate for us.
Of course.
It's tonight's a blue moon, tomorrow's a boon, tonight's a red moon, you're near a lagoon. Am I right or am I wrong?
Tonight's
Oh,
a blue moon, tomorrow's a boon.
I don't think if you check the almanacs that there's a lot of evidence to back
Tomorrow's
much of that
red
up.
moon.
I think the moon is a little bit blue
Tonight's
tonight because we're coming up on the
blue
solstice to
lagoon.
the 20th, and so you're starting to see the shorter or the longer nights and the shorter
So tomorrow's
days.
a boon. See, Jack gets it.
Tomorrow's-
Kraloth, right?
Huh?
Tonight's blue moon is tomorrow's red lagoon. Is it a blue moon?
It's the same difference.
Someone's going to die tonight.
What?
I'm gonna summon Kieran.
Night turns into day, and you are once more cruising over the tops of the Lurkwood forest.
You know, it's quite nice, Doran says, turning over in his bed in the morning. Fluffy sheets pushed up against his face.
Oh no, you've got a hammock.
Red lying on the floor right below you. What's that, Doran?
Doran turns over and says, You know, it is awfully nice being able to catch up on a little bit of sleep on this long airship. It's comfortable, it's cozy, it creaks, it's pretty cool. It's got Kraloth.
Hey.
Yeah, Kraloth's cool.
You know, here we are,
Everything
and
you need.
you know, I think we needed this, a little bit of rest in between. You know,
Feeling appreciative, Doran?
I am very much so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Let's all go around and say one thing we appreciate. I appreciate shale. Come here.
Well, I appreciate having friends that I can trust here, you know, and that don't frown upon me for making mistakes. More on that later.
I mean, Jack raises a cup of tea that he's drinking for the morning and says, "Cheers to friends." Absolutely. You know,
The friends.
my life is in your hands, and thank you for being stewards of it.
These hands? Red says, looking at his paws. Oh.
I'm grateful for airships in general. I mean, this would take us a lot longer to get around if we didn't have this handy-dandy airship taking us to all these places.
You make a great point, Kraloth.
It's nice.
It's weird, though, right?
Yeah, the dragon cultists who run it and the dragon who's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just use my airship. It's fine. I don't.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Like, I feel pretty nervous about that. I can't put those bits out of my head.
Yeah, plus it looks kind of dorky.
I think Red puts Shale in his little like baby pen and walks over to the table to sit next to Jack and like pulls out his plate and fork. Obviously, everyone has their own mess kit. I think Red just like wipes the bacon grease from last night off onto his shirt and puts it down and like scoops some porridge on it. And he's like, I get the same feeling. It's a little bit weird. I feel like we're being like kept, you know?
Yeah.
Taken care of.
Yeah. Hey, can I get some more bacon over here?
We ate it yesterday, Doran.
Oh, sorry.
There's-
Who are you yelling at?
Are they cooking for us on this
Yeah,
ship,
it's true.
or do we
We're-
cook our own food?
No, I think we're.
I feel like it's us in our own little galley, like our
yeah.
own little.
I mean, I think it's a shared kitchen. I just don't think they care about us.
They're taking care of steering the ship where you ask them to steer it to, and not much else.
So Doran yells off to nobody,
Kraloth hands you some pork.
And
jerky.
also, Damien is on watching Shale duty.
Yeah.
and it's actually been Kraloth
Damien.
cooking for us the whole time.
Yeah.
and I'm thinking
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
servants that work for the ship.
And I fed the last piece of bacon to Kieran, and I feel real bad about it.
Aw.
We all-
Where are those people that have been making our food this entire time?
It's been Kraloth yet. Get out of bed, Doran. We're all up.
Oh,
Look, we should talk about our next steps, though. We learned a lot about what's going on from the Oracle, and obviously we're planning on now going to these burial sites and collecting the items and bringing them back to the Oracle. But, there's been some heavy revelations. It's taken me a while to let them sink in, but the doom of the desert has been one that's floating around my mind. That was a dragon. And I took a look at this, and Red pulls out Chasloth's book.
I was wondering when you guys were going to bring that up again.
Yeah, and he flips to an earmarked page and just whips it open. I've read this a few times now, but listen to this. It says, Imrith is an ancient blue dragon that's known to dwell in the Amarok Desert. I think this is the one that the Oracle was referring to when they said that they were manipulating the court. He's the one behind it all.
It was the queen who disappeared first, and then the king, and now their daughters are in charge. So do we think he's behind the disappearance, or he's behind the daughter's dissolution of whatever's going on?
I don't know, but we know that this, and I pull out the conch, we know that this brings us to the court, to the Storm Kings. Mm-hmm. And we know that Imrath is manipulating the court, so we can logically assume that it is the Storm King's court that he is obviously manipulating, and being that the king and the queen are gone and the daughters are in charge, it might stand to reason that they're the ones being manipulated, since the Oracle didn't say that they were manipulated, but they are being manipulated. These 3 daughters might be the crux of it. Don't eat soup out of the conch. And I take it back.
we're also trying to find 3 more of these conches, right?
Right.
Yes, and we'll get them once we return these artifacts, like the one that I have here.
How many more artifacts are we looking for? Because we found this giant's mask.
Well, we're looking for 3 more.
Right, so we need 4 conchs and 4 artifacts.
Now, we also know that Chezaran and Anaxasta are also rude twin blue dragons that live in the desert as well. Whether they have anything to do with Imrith, a blue dragon who lives in the desert, we don't know. However, we do know that Imrith is an ancient dragon, which could mean that he's the one pulling the strings, at least between the dragons. You know, they could be working for him. I don't know how the loyalties of blue dragons shake out.
Why do you think he's doing this? Or she? What is their motivations for stirring up things with the giants? Is there some sort of play here?
Well, we know that the war between the dragons and giant kind has been long-standing. Obviously, at the very least, there's an element of upheaval within the giants. They're killing each other. We see characters like Harshnag destroying his own kind, and having them all sort of focus inwardly and combat against each other must be beneficial to the dragons.
Yeah, and what better way than to infiltrate the king's court and start speaking and manipulating those in charge, seeing as how the king is not there. Then, you know, what better way to defeat your enemy than from the inside? It's an age-old strategy.
But what's the next move? So the dragon has been successful in creating this upheaval, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the dragon's going to do next, now that stage 1 of their plan is in place?
Well, we know that the conches bring us to the king's court. And we know that our path, as those who are part of the reordering, is to go there. So we must eventually be seeking an audience with...
The dragon.
No, with the Storm King.
Or the dragon.
You got halfway there. With the Storm Kings.
We know Klauth, this big red dragon, is helping us out with this ship, meaning at face value at least doesn't want our kind of trouble in their territory any longer. And we know Clagiliamatar, old Gnawbone, this green dragon oracle, was helping us out. Is the strife among the giants some sort of proxy war among dragons? Like, are we just pieces on a great chessboard for them?
Yeah. Like, are we the pawns? Or the knights?
Well, you mean are the giants the pawns to the dragons?
Well, yeah, and are we in just another piece in that game between them?
We're like smaller pawns, like tiny little pawns that ride on the shoulders of the other pawns. Maybe. You think maybe these dragons have, stake in what giant lands on top?
I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to assume these dragons are all friends and on the same side.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, Jack. That's a great point.
I think having there be chaos between all these giants puts a lot of problems in other dragons' territory. Maybe there aren't a lot of giants in the Anrok Desert. And so the doom of the desert doesn't care, not going to be worried, but it puts a lot of strife elsewhere. But to what end? I think Kraloth asked that question, and I don't know that we have the answer yet.
If these dragons are all sort of in it for their own, if we assume that Imrith is acting on his own accord, then what does the red dragon Klauth stand to gain by aiding us, And what do the other dragons, There's obvious a play here because the red dragon could easily just sit out.
This airship is awfully comfortable, but it feels like we're floating on the tongue of a big red dragon could swallow us up in one moment. I don't like it.
Thank you once again to our wonderful Patreon supporters Christopher Ryan Evans, Merlin, Mitchell Cadwell, Ashley and JB, Michael and Brianna Weber, Colin Burkhart, Daniel, Doug, Jessica Orrit, Jonah Goldman, and Maury Kaniski. See you soon!